What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your transfer view, your latest dose of Manchester United transfer news every morning, 9 o'clock settings. Myself and Owen taking you through the latest of what we have got to talk about. All the gossip, all the transfers, all the therapy, all the jokes, everything, all of that jazz. And I'm not really in the middle, which is annoying. So let me
Yeah, I
just,
was going to say,
yeah,
I look like
that was true.
I'm dwarfing you. It's,
That was
you know what I
annoying.
mean?
That was annoying. And my mic's not
Yeah.
in the middle as well. Symmetry is important. There you go.
Yes.
Symmetry is
Everything.
important.
It's all important.
Smash a like on the video, peeps. Subscribe if you're new. I have to say, I needed this show. I needed this show. I wanted to come and talk to the community because I feel like my safe space of talking is here through words, through context. I feel like on Twitter, it just it can just get so nuts so quickly, and like it's everything is about opinion. But on Twitter, it's like it's so hard to contextually understand what somebody may or may not be saying in that many characters, or it seems very sensationalist, or it might seem over negative, it might seem over positive. It's just really hard to gauge, and it's a great means of communication. I get it, like, you can interact with fellow Reds and you follow each other, and that kind of stuff's amazing. But when, like, you've got issues within your club and the fan base are all kind of, it's one melting pot of opinion, it can just like frazzle your brain. So I'm like, rather than try to explain something on there about how you're feeling about a certain topic, I'm like, that's what the United View community is for. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning. So I needed this show. And we got a lot to talk about, Owen.
We do have a lot to talk about. I think you're right. 240 characters is sometimes difficult to be as articulate as possible. Exactly. Flex's run down after tour.
Sorry, I'm
Australia's
gonna be
killed him
muting
off.
in
Yeah.
and out. I'm so sorry. I'm a mess. I've been bad.
Yeah, and then on top of this, then we have football Twitter going crazy. It's a difficult time. It's a difficult time for Flex, but we're going to get through it because today we're going to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. We're going to talk positive about Cristiano Ronaldo and the latest development in his saga with Manchester United. Possibly, if some reports are to be believed, requesting his release from his contract or being relinquished from his contract. We're going to talk about Benjamin Sesko as well. That's someone that football Twitter is really enjoying at the moment after yesterday, after scoring against Liverpool. Talking a little bit about Antony, no more player sales at Ajax, possible two centre-backs leaving Manchester United in the summer, and a little bit on everyone's favourite player, that being Frenkie de Jong, and how he can't be forced to leave Barcelona, according to La Liga president. But Flex, we're going to start off talking about CR7, and he has informed, according to Simon Jones of Mail Sports, Manchester United, he wishes to be relinquished from his contract. It continues saying that Manchester United, though, have not received any inquiries for Ronaldo as of yet. An interesting part of this is Duncan Castles from the Times, and the reason why it's interesting from Duncan Castles is when it comes to anything George Mendes related, he's near enough spot on every single time. He was first to break the story about Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to leave. He has said that Manchester United utilised Tuesday's face-to-face talks with Ronaldo and George Mendes to emphasise the players' importance to their attempt to become competitive in domestic and European competitions once again. But this week's round of discussions have failed to persuade Ronaldo to change track. He is said to have been encouraged by the interest from Atletico Madrid and Bayern, and hopes Manchester United will be persuaded to relinquish the second season of his 2-year deal. So it's not only the Mail, it's also Times are also saying the same thing there. So what do you think, Flex, about him wanting out of his contract, if that is to be believed?
If, like you said, I think the key bit there is if that is to be believed. I tweeted yesterday, if in big capital letters, because I think it's important to stress this is only one source that's saying this. It's not a lot of the domestic close journalists. It's one source, but it backs up. It just feeds into what we know is true, that he does want to leave. Whether this statement is 100% true, I think that's unfair to say. But if it was, if we're talking about a hypothetical, and he has said that, see you later, bye. Like, cool. Like, you could say, no, you have to stay. You signed this, so we're not releasing you. But we've got to get real with this energy of, there has to be a point where you separate away from what he did for us last season, which we all stand by. I think any Manchester United fan can stand by that. He was holding us together by a thread. So you do get a bit of extra leeway. You do get that bit of respect. I understand that. But if, and I'm saying if because we don't know if it's true, if he has said, I want to be released of this. We have to keep our energy of anybody who does not want to be at the football club. See you later. And let's not dress it up. Ronaldo would be already gone if he had suitable offers, and he hasn't. So for me, no one's bigger than the club. It won't rip up and erase what he's done for us in the past. The first spell he was here, it can't be touched. It's there. It won't tarnish how good he was last year. Those things have nothing to do with this. It's all about the current moment. In terms of moving forward to the next season, in the current space, you have to be tuned in. We need players that are tuned in. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter what you've done 15 years ago. Doesn't matter. Do you want to be here now for this next period? If he's saying rip up my contract, I badly don't want to be here, then even the biggest Ronaldo fanboys and girls, even the biggest Ronaldo supporters who, came with the energy of he's doing this because the standards are low. He's doing this because, he can't bear to see the club in this mess. And, even them people would go, bloody hell, you can't say that. If you want the thing ripped up, like you're desperate to get out of here, well, bye. Like, do you know what I mean? Because to be honest, that whole thing of we said that at the beginning, didn't we? Like the whole do not buy into Ronaldo's doing this to stand against the Glazers. Like, where are them people now? By the way, like by the way this has transpired, this has quickly gone from oh yeah, his standards are so high. He's the only one who, yeah, his standards are high, but it's still the same thing. He's putting himself before anything else, which is why he's been that successful in his career. You don't get to do the things that Ronaldo's done, how he's done them, without Cristiano being at the forefront of every decision. Which the irony is, that's actually what it takes to be at the top, you know what I mean? So I don't get that. But now he's saying that you can't. For me, you can't be doing that. It says I'm out of sync, so I'm going to stop talking for a little bit, and we'll get that sorted.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think where is that same energy? Where is that same energy? Where is the energy? Like we were saying, I remember having these conversations right towards the end of last season when we're talking about the big reset that was going to come at Manchester United. The big reset going forward was that anyone that doesn't want to be here shouldn't be here. And it's the same with Cristiano Ronaldo, right? What is the difference? What's the difference between Ronaldo or any other player? And I mentioned before that you can't question his professionalism, but I think you kind of can now. I think you can. Granted, the reports are saying, oh, he's going to Carrington and he's willing to be professional by showing up and doing training, but at the same time, if you're going to be actively offering yourself up to clubs. And it feels like it's just pure desperation because he's throwing every single card possible on the table. How about you loan me out and then extend my contract for a year? Well, no. How about you sell me? We don't want to sell you. How about, how about you release me from a contract as well? No, we're not going to do that either. And it feels like desperation. And again, the key point, what all of these reports and articles are saying, the key point is, with them saying, oh, there's no offers. There's no offers on the table for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So get over it. You might want to leave, but no one wants to pick you up.
Exactly. We could see that it's out of sync, so we're just going to take a momentary pause and get the sync back for you because there's nothing worse than watching something and the audio's out of sync. So 1 second, guys. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Should we check first or in the back end? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. We're back in the room. Give us a little thumbs up. Give us a little okay sign. Give us a little hands in the air, a green tick, anything. Let us know that we're back in sync. Yeah, yeah. Just that little double.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It tickled me. It's been a weird morning.
Couple gremlins early doors. I don't know if it's the gremlins and the phlegm that I got in my chest since I come back.
Yeah.
Just working their way into the Wirecast system there. But everyone says we're okay.
Yeah.
But actually, let's get a couple of the super chats out. Actually, there was a couple of comments that I need to get. There you go. Sam said KG called this half a year ago. We're just seeing it unfold slowly. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Sam. Did KG say that a while ago that it was just basically all going to blow up with Ronaldo eventually? Did he say that? I can't remember.
Well, he
Maybe he
said,
did.
didn't he, about the last home game of the season when he was waving. He said Ronaldo's out of
Oh
it,
yeah, yeah,
Ronaldo's
yeah. He
off.
did say that. I remember that.
He
Yeah,
did say that. In
he
fairness,
did. He
the
did. He
problem
did.
is though, Fleck, which boy who cried wolf. Yeah, the one
Yeah,
time, or occasionally when he is right, people go, no,
by accident, mate.
that's
By
what
accident.
happens when you're reckless. That's what happens.
Exactly. Matimu M is a member for 2 months on the United View, so they've got their upgraded badge. So big up to you. Also says if he is so desperate to leave, then he should buy his contract out. Yeah, exactly. Put your money down, mate. It's not a problem. Buy yourself out your contract. And Lamar, big up for the super chat, says he has gone down, in my opinion. Selfish old man. Well, strong words there, not mixing his words. And I think we're there for comments being read out. Yeah, we are. And I just feel like for me, it's entering into a place where it's becoming problematic. Obviously, I get that it's becoming problematic, but at the same time, I won't forget that I have said I've trusted Eric Ten Hag to deal with this in whatever way possible. Do you know what I mean? The best way he can, because he has been dealt a shit hand here. You know, the pressure's not really on Ten Hag. I know, like someone as big as Ronaldo creating this much stuff is an issue for any manager, but we all know it's not Ten Hag's fault. Ten Hag arrived to this. It's not like, people are like, oh, does he have it or does he haven't? He has a free shot at this because we all know what Ronaldo's about and he wants to make the best decision for himself. We know that. So if he leaves, I don't think anyone can criticize Ten Hag. And if he stays, I don't think we can criticize him too, because as fans, we might think it's best for him to leave. But if he stays and gets a tune out of him, then we'd have to applaud Ten Hag. So Ten Hag has a free hit. I think it was James from AFTV was kind of talking about this on Twitter the other day, and I think you chimed in as well, I think, or someone else did from our channel. And he was basically saying that, Ten Hag's in a good position because, you know, he's walked into this situation and he's got to sort it out. And everyone knows what Ronaldo is trying to do. He's openly trying to leave. But if back to the actual statement from what the Mirror's saying, if that's true, tatty bye, mate. It's no biggie. I'd rather struggle without the striker if he actually wants the thing ripped up. I think personally, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you next, Owen. Do you think that statement is true in terms of I want it to rip up, or do you think it's more of a case of it just feeds into I just don't want to be here somewhere in there, just get me out? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Would you think the
I
statement's true?
think,
Would you think the situation's true?
again, when I heard it from the Daily Mail, I went, you never know. When I heard it from Duncan Castles, I went, well, there's definitely smoke there. Clearly, there's definitely smoke there. I don't know if he's in these meetings has said, rip up my contract or one out, that kind of thing. As I mentioned before, I think it's one of the options on the table. I think they laid out everything possible. I think George Mendes is doing his best to get his client a move away from Old Trafford, and he's exploring every single avenue to do so, whether that's just being sold, whether that's for being loaned out and the contract extension, which is bizarre. That just seems a strange thing. Or whether it's being released from the contract in general. I think probably what Ronaldo and Mendes are probably thinking is, well, there's no one really interested in us at the moment. I mean, it's not a case of really transfer fees, really. Maybe some people are thinking that, but if I'm a free agent, I'll definitely get a move, and I'll definitely be able to get a move to a Champions League club. It will give us a little bit more ability to maneuver, because there isn't so much of a transfer fee involved. We can talk about wages. We can talk about that. It just seems to me desperation to leave. But ultimately, I think he has to come to realize that unless United want to do this deal, which clearly they don't, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. It doesn't. It's not even. This isn't a case of United blocking moves as well. It'd be one thing if there were people knocking on United's door going, "Yeah, we'll take him. We'll take Ronaldo." It'd be another thing if Ronaldo had already agreed to move. Remember when this first came out and everyone thinks he's agreed. He's got something on the table. Everyone thinks he's already agreed to move.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't be doing this. Yeah,
he had nothing. He has nothing, and it's almost this assumption, a bit like last year at Juventus, that I'll leave and someone will pick me up. But the last 12 months have happened, and maybe these other clubs have gone, actually, you know what? I know he's Ronaldo, but it's Ronaldo at the latest stage of his career. And had this been last year, maybe we would have been willing to take a risk on him, but we're not. And he's thinking that Atletico's an option. The fans don't want him. You saw that banner yesterday, and Atletico's friendly. No to CR7 or whatever it was. So they don't. unless, Atletico want to go to war with their fans and plus the financial implications of it as well, that one might not happen
Mate, the
either.
reception he got at the Wanda Metropolitano when we were there was horrendous.
Yeah,
Was
exactly.
which you would expect. They are arch
Yeah, yeah,
rivals. You know what I mean?
exactly. So I don't know. I'm with you. At this point, as time's going on, again, they can say, "Oh, he's been professional, showing up to training now," but you know, you're still you're having these talks where you're throwing every single option to leave the club, and you're still the highest paid player at the club. And I understand it's not ideal for your ego and your image to play Europa League, and I understand you want to be competing for things and winning trophies. No United fan begrudged him when he said he wanted to leave because of that. But when the options aren't there, when the offers aren't on the table, when is enough enough? And from a United perspective, what do they do now? Because is it just going to be a case of this guy makes enough noise over time that we just go, oh, you know what? We wanted to keep him, and we know there are no offers for him, but just go. Just
Yeah,
go.
but it's like where's he gonna go? Like it's all good saying let me go. Like nobody wants him. Like that's what's actually the maddest thing about this. Like, all right, you can understand someone of Ronaldo's caliber for the last couple of years. He wants to leave and play at the highest level. But it's like when you hear Oliver Kahn at Bayern, who literally just lost the best striker in the world, say, even for a year, just don't fit our philosophy, mate. Got a lot of respect for the guy. Don't fit our philosophy. The Ted Bowley situation at Chelsea, again, that would hurt Manchester United a lot to see him go to a Premier League rival as well. Someone will be competing for the top four with or whatever. Chelsea are in a rebuild phase. They've just had a horrific situation with Lukaku. They've got Timo Werner and Havertz up front currently, and
Going
it
out
would
on loan, isn't he?
exactly, and it would appear that Tuchel went, nah, don't could just do without that because in 12 months' time, all what I'm seeing now gonna be my problem. That's
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
actually is.
exactly.
It actually is off-putting. Like if you think about it from another club's perspective, you're gonna be if you're not successful, if you don't win the Champions League, right? Or you have a tough season, or you're trying to build something like Chelsea are trying to rebuild. They're trying to rebuild their whole forward line. They spent a lot of money on it. It's not worked. Ziyech hasn't worked. Pulisic is like up and down. Timo Werner hasn't worked. Kai Havertz is in and out. Lukaku didn't work. Their whole front line just needs rebuilding. So it's like, do I get someone that I can't have any longevity with? Where if we don't quite go where we want to go next season, I'm stuck with what Ten Hag's dealing with. I don't want that. We just lost Lewandowski, the best number 9 in the world, arguably. Whether it's Benzema or you might whatever, but it's Lewandowski, right? No, I don't want to replace him with a like for like, someone who will in this team definitely score 30 goals. No, because in a year's time, if we don't win the Champions League or he just didn't, we're going to be stuck with that. It's not our philosophy to be in that mold. That's concerning.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
concerning.
absolutely. Because you literally just said what I was about to say. Because make no mistake, if he went to Bayern Munich, he'd score 30 goals. He'd be the top goal scorer in the league. Obviously, they're going to win the league, and there'd be conversations that they'd be like, "Oh, tell you what, Ronaldo, one more Ballon d'Or at 37 years of age because he'd score a ton of goals, no doubt about it." But like you said, they've gone, yeah, but in a year's time, they've seen, and this was going to be my question to you. Do you think they've seen what has happened with Ronaldo at United over the course of the last 12
Definitely,
months? Not to
definitely,
say that it's been a
100%.
failure, but they've looked at it and gone, it leads to a problem.
No,
And if we're a
it
big club, we
million
don't we
percent.
don't need that problem in 12
Million
months.
percent, of course. And that's just due diligence, isn't it? Like you have to look at it like that way. I think with where Ronaldo is in this stage of his career, you know that the only thing that matters to him is obviously winning. Excuse me, is the winning and competing at the highest level. So don't get me wrong, Bayern Munich, they're 90% going to win the league, 95% going to win the league. And you can't put a percentage on how much they're going to win the Champions League, but they can see what an unhappy Ronaldo can bring. Do you know what I mean? That's the proof is in the pudding. I know Man United is probably a bad example because we're nowhere near the likes of Bayern Munich and the likes of PSG, who can win their league easily, to compete for cups, and go into latter stages of Champions League. We're nowhere near them teams, and even Chelsea can do that. But even them teams that compete well each year are like, not really sure. Let's get these super chats out and then move on. Smash a like on the video, guys. We've got nearly 2,000 people watching, only 233 likes, so we need to do something about that ASAP, please. I haven't got COVID. Dragon says Flex got COVID. No, I've done a test. I haven't, but I'm just massively under the weather from tour. I'm just in a bad way. And Blue Abadie Abadai says he doesn't say cough cough. He does actually
Cough,
have a
cough,
super chat.
cough.
he does. He does actually have a super chat. That will mean that every player can now just quit, and contracts don't matter. If we want to sell, if we want him to leave, sell him. Well, we'd try. We would.
It could be a bit of an
Sell him,
Arsenal
but
situation. You know, when they would have those big players on big contracts and they just go, let them go free transfer, get them off the wage bill.
there you go. Exactly. Jack Stockdale's is the latest member of the United View Members Club as well. Big up to Jack, another one inside.
Welcome.
JP119, welcome. JP119 says, remember when Sir Alex Ferguson rang Del Piero and asked him to leave Juventus, but he refused as his club was in trouble and needed his help. Times are sadly changing. Yeah, Ronaldo's not going to do that. It's never going to do that. Stephen, big up to Stephen. Thanks for the super chat. Says, thing that annoys me is everyone is going to show hate towards Ronaldo, but this is nearly 20 years of badly run club being shown for what they are and no ambition. I'll be honest, Stephen. I'm not really I don't really link like the Glazers failing over this time to Ronaldo doing this. Like the only link is okay, cool. We've been shit for the whole time, and he's walked into a broken Manchester United. But that wasn't something that Ronaldo didn't know when he walked in, and it wasn't something that Ronaldo could change in one season. So what did Ronaldo expect? Like, and then from having a poor season, did he expect us to go and be in the market for Haaland and Neymar and all these top world class players? I just don't really understand that. I just feel like can we stop? In my opinion, Stephen, I don't know how you feel, but in my opinion, Stephen, I feel like I don't want to cross pollinate why this is happening. This is happening because Man United didn't make top four. We didn't win anything, and we won't win anything. He thinks we won't win anything next year, so he's off. It's as simple as that. It's not a
Yeah.
protest against the Glazers. It's not because the standards are low. Well, it kind of is because the standards are low, but it's because we're a poor team. That's it.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a case of, yes, of course, you're absolutely right. 20 years, the club's been badly run, and there is a lack of ambition. I'm with you. But Cristiano Ronaldo is the biggest individual in a team sport. He is not about the
Yeah,
collective. He is about Cristiano Ronaldo. And it just goes to show he would have, had United not come in last year, joined Man City. He doesn't care massively about Manchester United. He doesn't care massively about Real Madrid. He's willing
yeah,
to join their rivals, Atletico Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo cares about Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not going to knock him for it because ultimately it's what's made him one of the best players ever. And it's what's made him break records and score the most goals, I think, of anyone ever. That's why he's had the success he has, because it's about Ronaldo. It's about him.
yeah.
I don't see him wanting to leave as a protest against the club or the Glazers.
It just isn't.
He just
It
got
just
almost
isn't.
a little bit duped. He came back into what he thought Man United was. It's
Yeah,
not what he thought it was back in the past. He's gone, this is shit. I'm better than this. I'm leaving. It's not a case
simple.
of, I love the club so much, it pains me to leave. It doesn't pain him to leave. It pains him to stay
Yeah,
at this point. He doesn't
exactly.
want to stay.
Exactly.
That's the
And if you
situation.
did love it, if it was more of like a Man United thing of the love for the club, it will be like, I don't care how shit it is. I'm here in the awful times. Maybe something can happen under a new manager. I'm going to stay. You know what I mean? But it's nowhere near that. Daddy's Glazer says they will keep him because of his commercial value. Instagram likes over football as always. And Sophia's football talk. Sophia says might be one of the few that still wants Ronaldo to stay for one more season. At this point, the options are limited to non-existing. And I agree with what Sophia's saying there. If he leaves, we're in trouble. Like we've only got Martial as a striker. And some people, like Sophia's saying, is more leading towards that side. That I know all this shit's going on, but we do need him. So that is another standpoint as well from Sophia. And Joel says he would have not joined us last season if we were out of the Champions League. I don't criticize him. Sad but not mad. Okay, well he wouldn't have. Yeah, 100%. And Paul Stafford says the club has run bad. Don't need players to be idiots. Bit early for that word, so I won't say the P word.
People are spitting out their breakfast. Go,
They
what?
are. Yeah, they are. I try not to like swear or anything early morning shows. You know, you might have this on with the kids in the background on the way to school, or summer holidays here in England, might be on the way to play group or summer camp or whatever. I don't know, or just chilling. So we try not to. Owen, what we got next?
Benjamin Sesko. So yesterday,
Who?
Twitter.
Who's
Well,
he?
come on, come
Who's
on.
that? Never heard of him. Never seen him play.
I'm not going to lie and say I'm an expert. If you believe football Twitter, of course, they know everything. They are more in depth than the Football Manager database of players. But he scored yesterday, the winner against Liverpool, as the RB Salzburg beat Liverpool in a friendly. It was a good goal. Now, in terms of any new news about him, there isn't a ton because the news came out last week, really, or a few days ago. I think it was earlier this week, maybe, from Romano. And I'll repeat it here, saying Manchester United are well informed of Salzburg talent Benjamin Sesko. He's one of the players monitored, considered really talented by the club, but it's not imminent or advanced deal as of now. Man
Romano
United are aware.
special.
Yeah, he's considered really talented,
Well
but it's not
informed.
imminent or advanced as of now. Basically, he picked up the phone to United. He went, "Do you know who Sesko is?" They went, "Yeah, that'll do." Tweet.
Yeah, yeah,
Man United
yeah.
are aware of Sesko, as our other clubs are informed too, including Newcastle. So football Twitter can get really excited because he scored a good goal against our rival in Liverpool, and we're aware of him. We're monitoring him, but nothing is imminent. I wouldn't get your hopes up. I feel like this is, and this is going to be massively clipped if he does join us, by the way. But I feel like it's one of these ones where if social media kind of focuses on players for 5 minutes and then they move on. They've decided for the next couple of days that they like this player. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my response to
I,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
I think I look. You never want to completely disregard something if it picks up a little bit of noise, but I think it's one that we definitely have to say there's clearly been nothing concrete. Let's all relax and keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Let's see if we hear anything more drastic, anything more concrete. Because from what I've seen, it's just us fans saying he looks good. It's all us.
Yeah, and age and
It's not.
be wary of agents. And we've been
Yeah,
burnt so many times by this. This could absolutely be a situation of Sesko's agent picking up the phone to Romano, going, United are interested in my player, and suddenly all these European journalists go, "Oh, United are interested in Sesko." Then the club will come out and go, "Well, we know him,
we're
but
not.
we're not
Yeah, and then everyone would
interested."
go,
And then
"See,
when he
another young
when
player
he
we could have got for a decent amount of money, but we took too long, and
exactly
now
when he
this
goes to
and now
Newcastle,
that."
we go, "Why don't we get him?" Because we were never going for him.
Yeah.
It was never going to
Even
happen. So
Newcastle got
be
him. They're making better moves
yeah,
than us. All this, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Look at Skamaka. He was one for a couple of weeks where it's like we should get him, we should do this, we should do that. He's gone to West Ham now, and it's like people are saying obviously that's a great buy for him, and why didn't we get him and all this, that, and the other. But you can't be linked to everyone. You can't get everyone.
And
So
we
I mean, there
have
are
been
other
in this
clubs.
transfer window.
Yeah, yeah,
I dread to think at one point it was over 100 players. That was in the end of June, let alone near the end of the July. Probably double that figure, right?
yeah, yeah,
So that's not to say we're not going to buy this player or we won't eventually buy this player. I think it's very unlikely. And as Romano said, nothing's advanced is because even probably he, when he got the call from the agent or whatever, went, okay,
yeah. So nothing
call me
then.
back when
So
something happens.
so
Even
nothing.
he when I'll do a tweet, but that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's enough. Okay, I'm not going
But
to do any more.
but on him, like I said, I've never seen him play before. I've just seen a few clips. I saw the clips that obviously he scored yesterday. I saw when he basically sat down. Was it James Milner and Trent? Just done a skill on them both and got free. And I've seen a couple of YouTube clips, but I've never seen the kid play. I know they're saying he's massive. He's Haaland-esque, tall frame, can move really good, quick. Just from what I'm reading off fans and people saying on social media, but I don't I don't know. I don't
It's
know a lot
perfect
about him.
timing.
So
It's perfect
yeah,
timing for him, really,
if
isn't
it,
it? Because he get
yeah,
all this attention around him and people being linked to him, and then he scores against Liverpool, Champions
yeah,
League finalists, in a friendly, a good goal as well. If
yeah,
people weren't paying attention, they certainly are now. So I bet his agent and those around him are going brilliant. I mean, talk about perfect timing. Now we really can possibly get this big move, and maybe he will. And who knows what happens with Ronaldo? Maybe Ronaldo does go, and we get Sesko and another player, because I think if the money that's freed up, you would think a player like Sesko, you'd probably be able to get another one. So who knows? But as of right now, nothing imminent.
yeah, 100%. Mac, who's Night View member, said get the KG Scout on it. You have to remember. I don't know why you lot keep putting the Scout and KG as like this same person. They're completely different entities. They're completely
Yeah, I
different
mean,
people.
the evidence is there because whilst you, KG, and Josh were out on tour, we had the scout videos drop from UVHQ, different countries. I mean, that's the
Exactly.
evidence you need. Different countries, different people. I mean, it's just,
They're not the
I
same
don't
people.
understand.
They're
No,
not. They're not the same people. So please do not get it mixed up. All right. I know
no.
they might look similar, but they ain't the same. I have to say this: we've got 2,200 people watching live, which is wicked. 368 likes. Let's go, peeps. Come on. I'm giving you little gentle reminders to push to that 500 before we move on. And I'm gonna. Oh, it's 750. I should have refreshed ages ago because why is it? It's just not. Oh, sorry, the target's 750. So I've
I
got
was going
Josh
to
in my
say,
ear.
I'm just going to say, I'm
I'm
not
like
seeing
750.
750.
Yeah.
I'm
Just to
not
let you
seeing
know,
that.
Josh has raised the bar. He says we're having more people watching live in the mornings, which is amazing on a consistent basis, which is amazing. The channel is growing, the community is growing. You lot are showing up more often and getting involved. So instead of 500 likes, it is now 750. That is the new benchmark. So that's what we're looking for. And I don't think that's when we have like the best part of over 2,000 people watching, really it should be 1,000 minimum. But I think 750 is fair. I think that's fair. So if we could do that, that'll be amazing. Let's get these super chats out before we move on to the next topic. James, I think the club run, but yeah, James says, let's get real. Sesko isn't joining, folks. I think that's fair to say. Well, doesn't look like it at the minute anyway. All Elite Alvis says, how about Belotti on a free? Whilst we use whatever money we have on other areas this summer, Flex have a word with the HR and take some annual leave. Glory, glory, United view. Annual leave, what's that? Do you know what I mean?
We all want it.
We
We
all
all
want
want
it.
it, mate.
And that, you know what? That's what it is. It's just run downness, but you just got to plow through it. You know what I mean? We got friendlies coming up this weekend. That's why we're kind of we haven't gone back to UVHQ yet. We needed this like a few days to just get ourselves back. Owen's been holding down the fort with food poisoning and doing what he's been doing. KG's been doing a madness. His voice is gone. He's got the phlegmy cough. You guys can't hear, but throughout this show and just in general, you just get the loud coughs from Josh. He's got it. I've got it. It's just what it is. And the vlogs are coming. We've had to and ah about how to get these vlogs out. I know it's been a while since we've been back from tour, but we had to recover files, do a madness. Josh has been doing some major Doctor Strange surgery and making things change. You know, he was doing
The
a lot
thing
of
is,
stuff.
Flex, you watch one Doctor Strange film and you think you understand the reference. You know, look at him.
Oi, I have to say, yeah, I'm getting a bit tuned in. Doctor Strange
The
is a
hand
serious guy.
movements are great. You know, when he starts
Yeah,
giving it.
yeah. Give me a realm. I need to go
Yeah.
in there. Need to go and sort some stuff.
Give me a realm. Give me a realm.
I like what Doctor Strange is doing. I think he's one of my favorites. I like him.
Yeah.
I just there's something about him that I like. I like Spider-Man as well. I really like
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like what he stands
Good,
for.
good
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. Anyway, away from that, the vlogs are coming out very, very soon, and they're going to be into
Yeah.
two. One's going to be Perth, one's going to be Melbourne.
They're
So
full
that's gonna be
cinematic
fun.
productions as well, by the way. These are feature-length vlogs at this stage. I
Feature
don't know
length.
what they're going to be like at the end, but these are
Yeah,
feature-length.
you know, some people may say, "Oh, this was 2 weeks ago. Why are we watching this now?" But I don't care. You lot got to see it. It's too good for you not to see.
Yes.
What we got next though?
Next, we have no more Ajax sales. Now, obviously, with all of these links to Antony possibly coming to Manchester United, 70 million euros, 80 million euros, 100 million euros. Fabrizio Romano, in a conversation with Court Offside, has said that Ajax have decided they don't want to make any more sales this summer, with manager Alfred Schroeder playing down Antony links with Manchester United. So, despite this high asking price that's been quoted over the course of the last few days, it would appear that Ajax really don't want to sell, which I guess is what we already know, to be honest, Flex, that they wouldn't do a price of 100 million euros for Antony with the intention to sell. The reason they've said that price is one would think to scare people off, really going, look, yeah, that's what we would sell him for because it's ridiculous. But we don't want to sell. We've done all of our business this summer. So, do we need to, when it comes to the whole Antony discussion, do we need to move on? We talk about
I
moving
think
on
get
with
over
other
it. Yeah,
players.
I think get over it. I mean, there's still look. You can't. I don't think we can like just completely write it off. Like things can change in the window, and you know, if Antony becomes a little bit disgruntled and it gets towards the end of the window and they start making some noises, sometimes you never know. You know what I mean? But I think the outrage of like why it's gone up. I just think, me personally, I think, what did you expect? I mean, I know I said the thing yesterday about Ajax being raided, and quite a few people disagreed with me. And I probably, again, it's how you express yourself on Twitter. I probably addressed what I was trying to say and with the wrong words. But what I meant to say was is that Ajax have been raided then, like they do every year. They have a certain circle of, you know, like we know they're a selling club. The players get to a certain ceiling and they sell them. But what I'm saying is that they've reached it. Now, what a lot of people were saying to me in frustration in a comeback to me was saying it's the fact that we could have got him earlier, Flex, for cheaper. And I get that. But my thing is that so what happened to the list of priorities that we always knew was one? The right winger was not the first thing we wanted to get. It was a centre half. It was definitely a central midfielder, which why De Jong was the first person we were ever linked to. And because of the complexity of the deals, it's still going on now. But that
He still is
clearly
the
is our
priority.
it still is the priority. Like, then we needed a centre back. All right, Terrell Malacia appeared as an opportunity, so we seized that. Ericsson appeared as an opportunity on a free. We seized that. So I think the frustration came from maybe ourselves of telling ourselves that, well, Antony's available for 50 million, go and get him now. And we're forgetting what our actual priorities were and the order that we wanted to do things was. Our priority for a while was not Antony, it was Timber. Remember when Timber was like, it was Timber, 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 Timber. We need a centre half. We need a centre half. It's a priority area. We didn't get Timber because he decided to stay. So we went to Martinez. Do you know what I'm saying? The chronological order of getting to Antony was always going to be once we get a central midfielder, which turned out to be Ericsson, and we still want De Jong. It was always going to be after we got a centre back, which it was going to be Timber, but then it became Martinez. And then the problem with that is because you're dealing with the same club for these types of players, once we got either Martinez or Antony, whichever way round we got it, when you try to go back for the next one, they say no. They say we've lost Gravenberch, we've lost Haller, we've lost Ten Hag, we nearly lost Timber, but we didn't. We now lost Martinez. Now you want Antony. Guess what? The price is up. So that's why I just didn't get the outrage. Because for me, I was taking a step back and going, okay, let me just break down the order of what we were trying to do things in to get a bit of context. And then I'm like, the online world has kind of just got angry because we could have got Antony for 50 million. But okay, we could have got Antony for 50 million, but that doesn't mean that we also would have got Martinez for 46 million. That means the Martinez price would have went up to maybe 70, 75. So that's just how I saw it. If anybody disagrees or has a different view, I actually really want to see what you guys think, because the outrage I was seeing and people blaming the club and saying this is because the club's crap and right and all this. I'm not sympathizing with Richard Arnold and John Murto, etc., etc. But I just thought like we were all told what our priorities were going to be, and we're following that. Of course, we haven't got players as quickly as we want to get them. I'm with you guys. I'm frustrated. I want more. We need more. But I don't think Antony was ever our priority position before a centre half and before a centre mid. Or am I missing something?
No, I found it strange also that there was this strange narrative whereby, because if we don't sign Anthony this summer, we have failed the manager and not backed the manager. I went, wait a minute. I swear yesterday we were having the conversation about the players we have signed so far, and I do think we'll sign more. Those players were players specifically Eric Ten Hag wanted. People like Martinez, but he didn't. Pau Torres was the recommendation from the Manchester United recruitment department, and Ten Hag said, "No, I want Martinez." We went out and got Martinez. He wanted Christian Eriksen. Terrell Malacia, we know we've wanted him for a long time, even going back to Ajax. These are players that he's wanted. We wouldn't still even be in negotiations for Frenkie de Jong if Eric Ten Hag didn't want him. You think if Eric Ten Hag was indifferent on Frenkie de Jong, we'd still be involved in all of that madness? Of course we wouldn't. Man United would have pulled the plug on that a long time ago. But Ten Hag has said, "That's my guy. Go after him. I want De Jong. I want De Jong. I want De Jong." So the manager is still being backed. You can't. Of course, you have a list of targets that you want, but you can't get everyone. It does not work like that. It is not Football Manager. It is not FIFA in that you have your list of targets and you get every single one. Hopefully, you get the majority of them. Antony, and I agree with what the criticism is. If we'd have gone in earlier, maybe we would have got him for a cheaper price. Maybe we would have got him. Absolutely.
Tabisol says this, just quickly, I'll put it to you. Tabisol said this, I like this because he's basically disagreeing with me. I want to see what you think. Tabisol says, no, Fleck. If we were early, then we could have signed both Antony and Martinez for like 85 million. Like the price combined, if we were early enough for them, would have been less. Do you think that's true?
We're not the only club negotiating with Ajax, though. There were other clubs doing deals with Ajax this summer. Again, Gravenberch, that was done already going in. You know, they sold their right backs. But Haller, probably that was nearly already done by the time we were even getting into negotiations with Ajax. We're not the only club. So even before, like even if we'd have gone in super early for Martinez and Antony, those deals had pretty much already been done, had they not? They were reluctant to sell players at that point anyway. I saw he also said about he wanted Nunes as well. So because we didn't get Nunes, the manager hasn't been backed. Nunes chose Liverpool over us,
I just don't
and
think there's any
and why
proof.
wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, 100%. I just think it's dangerous to spread that we definitely would have got this done if like X done if we did it then. Like definitely. Like I think I, I don't know. Me personally, I think that's a really like strong thing to say with nothing to back it up apart from emotion. Like how do you know that? Because I don't know, and someone could say to me, "How do I think what I think?" It's all about opinions, isn't it? I just from looking at the situation, I just break it down into these bullet points. Right? Ajax are a selling club. Tick. We know that. Every summer they probably get to a quota of certain players who have developed really well, and people want to come and take them players. Fact. We know that. They lost Haller. They lost Gravenberch before we even got there. Do you know what I mean? Or Haller in and amongst while we were trying to whatever. They lost their manager to us. Fact. They were about to lose Timber if Timber said yes. We know this.
They lost their right
They,
back.
they lost their right back. Okay. Then we move on from Timber to their other centre back, who's their player of the season. Big deal. Then we try and move on to their other top player, their right winger, star player. And it's like, of course they're going to like get to a point where they say, okay, shop's closed, we've done our sale for the like I just why does that make it bad on us? Like you can't I don't think you can say that. I'm honestly it really baffles me about the level of aggression towards for F's sake, we should have got Antony done ages ago and it would have only been 50 million. But we all agreed, or we all understood. Maybe if we didn't agree with it, that's unfair for me to say we all agreed. We were all well informed of what our priorities were to get. I don't like the right winger. Like at the end of the season, no one went in the list of chronological order of what we need. No one said right wingers at the top. I don't think I saw anyone say that. Right wing is the top priority. Did anyone say that?
Well,
I wasn't seeing that. I was seeing
there's
centre
a
half
really
and defensive mid.
interesting
Go for it.
super chat. I don't know if you can see from Queen of the North. I don't know if we can get that up on the screen, Josh, because I think that's a really interesting one talking about the priorities there. When it says that Nunes, Frenkie de Jong, Timber were the priorities. We are not getting any of them. Antony was an alternative to Nunes, and we failed. No matter how this window ends from now, they have failed. But I would, and of course, appreciate the contribution. It's all about opinion. I would slightly push back on that because, again, I look at those priorities, and you're right. From the start, they were the early reported priorities. We did shows on them, so absolutely. Nunes, and we can talk about. There's lots of misinformation I think out there about United when they came in, or did the agent want United to come in? Whatever. Nunes was going to choose Liverpool over us. He just why would he? And he did. And you look at it's difficult to say as a United fan, but he did because they're better than us. The Timber one, does it reflect badly on us that we couldn't get that deal done, or does it reflect on a situation whereby we probably could have got the done and he got scared by the international manager to stay and play, and he's going to sign a new contract now? We don't know what that new contract looks like. There might be a release clause, and I think we'll still go after Timber in the future once again. The De Jong one window isn't done yet. Who knows where that one's going to end up yet? So I don't know, Flex. Those two, the Nunes and Timber ones, do you kind of not give United a pass, but I feel like it's kind of you don't maybe look at it in context if you just go, oh, we didn't get him, so it's a massive
Yeah,
failure.
well, and also everyone was saying don't spend 100 million on Nunes. The budget. Why are we doing that? Everyone was saying on an unproven striker. That was the people knew we needed a forward of some sort, whether it's a right winger, left winger, or straight up nine. I remember you was saying we needed a straight up nine, and that was when we thought Martial was done and toast. Do you know what I mean? It's funny how things change. Everyone agreed we needed a centre back. Everyone agreed that, I mean, the central midfield area is the biggest area. Like, we need a couple of them. Now, we knew Pogba was going to leave, so we need to replace him. We know that we've always needed a defensive midfielder, so that's two minimum we needed, and we've got one in Eriksen, and we're trying to get De Jong, so that's the two central midfielders that we need, which would be two really good additions if we do get De Jong. Then the fullback situation, everyone agreed that we needed to address more so right back, But to be fair, now Dallo looks like he's done quite well. It's like you could tell Wan-Bissaka's out the plans, but can we do something there? The Malacia situation was something that arose. Sorry, I don't think we could you know, budget for that. We didn't know we was going to do it, but we jumped in. And again, that shows progression. I'm backing the manager because that wasn't in our plans. That we did not want to get him from Leon, stop him going to Leon initially. It was never in our plans. It's because Ten Hag had, wanted him before. He's good, get me him. So we backed the manager. Let me get these super chats out here. Amir says, Amazon Docky, all or nothing, flexing KG on tour. And James the Carl says, Dr. Fate owns Strange. No debate needed here. I have no idea who Dr. Fate is. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. That sounds like my local GP. I don't know who that is.
Basically, Dr. Fate, he's DC's version of Doctor Strange, but he was created first. So he's actually earlier than Doctor Strange.
Really?
DC's version.
Oh, so Marvel said, we need our own Doctor.
Basically, in most superheroes across Marvel or DC, you will find quite a few are very similar to each other.
Yeah,
and it's a case of when they were published. For instance, you've got Namor, who's basically Marvel's version of Aquaman, but he was published before Aquaman. He was created first.
Right. Okay.
And Dr. Fate is going to be in the upcoming Black Adam film of The Rock. He's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, James Bond. So, Dr. Fate, I mean, that sounds quite self-explanatory. Does he just leave a lot to chance? Like,
no, he's just the same as Doctor Strange, really,
Yeah, but Doctor Strange is actually quite weird. Like, straight, it suits him. He's got the mad beard, the cape does matter. He's quite strange. But Dr. Fate, he sounds like someone who would leave it to chance. Like, that's fate. Like, he does a trick and says, fate said. Like, Harvey Two-Face is like, it's 50-50, like, to chance. Isn't it? Am I right?
There's a character in the Marvel universe called Domino, and her sort of power is that she always gets really lucky.
Like in Dominoes, because you need to wait for your number to come, sort of thing, like the game.
I don't. It's just because she's got this sort of thing on her face, so she looks a bit domino-ish.
Oh, what? She got like a 666 on her face?
No, it's a long explanation. I don't really want to save it for a members video.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, guys. There's actually loads of superheroes as well, isn't it? Like you've got like the main one, and you've got all these side ones that no one really cares about as well. That ain't big.
Well, yeah, and when you get to like now in like the Marvel universe, I mean, they're still bringing in big ones, but eventually you have to get into the obscure names because you run out.
Yeah, you run out. Yeah, then you just redo it again, all again in a different version. And then this director's cut wasn't good, and don't watch that one because we're going to add the to the beginning of this one, which means it was better than the one that had the Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad. Oh yeah, don't watch that one because it gets silly. It gets silly.
Flex likes the first Suicide Squad film. And you know what he said when we was watching it? He said, "Is that Jared Leto playing the Joker?" And I went, "Yeah." He went, "He's doing a good job."
But no, all the comic people. Oh, he disgraced the Joker. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Guy's trying his hardest, trying to be all weird like Joe, trying his hardest, and you lot just nothing's ever good enough for the communities. That's what I always see. Anyway, stop talking about comics. We've got stuff to talk about. Yasser, thanks for the contribution. Didn't make any comment, just Briggs' contribution. And Staffo, latest member of United View Members Club as well. And 0 Degrees. Oh, hold on. 0 Degrees says, Flex bro, priority is new owner. Well, yeah, I mean, I wish we all want that. Lux says, it's bad on United because we wasted the entire month of June, made no signings except Glazer dividends. We should have swooped quickly on Ajax players. And Yassir says, where is the same energy then regarding Frenkie de Jong? He also does not want to be here, according to sources. So what about that? Again, that's a completely different. I'm not going to go into it loads now because I think we've got to move on. But actually, de Jong might even be the next bit. But the reason why he hasn't arrived yet is we know why. He's owed 17 million. They're treating him like an idiot, and he needs time to resolve that situation instead of just turning away from 17 million euros whilst they're signing Jules Koundé, Christensen, Kessie, Rafinha, Lewandowski. Like, it's insane. Still trying to give assurances to Azpilicueta. I saw that's a whole different kettle of fish in my opinion. But big up Yasser. And he says the difference with Frenkie de Jong and CR7 is that he performed here. You can't separate the two because the players who let us down are still here. How you trust these players? How many managers have they let down? And I blew up the other die says, seeing the new Wakanda Forever trailer, Owen and Fleck, almost made me shed a tear. I haven't seen the new trailer for
I
that.
have. I have. It's a good trailer. I don't know if it's the best trailer. People have been saying, "Oh, it's the best Marvel trailer ever."
Really?
Don't know, but
Really?
it's a good trailer and it's very emotional. You know, Chadwick Boseman. I mean, the whole film is going to be very emotional, but
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
excited for it
Did
later
he
this
was
year.
he did he pass before there was any like stuff
Yeah,
he did?
yeah.
Oh, so he's not involved in it at all.
He's not involved in it at all, and the
Oh
character
no.
is being
Who's it played
written
by?
out, but the Black Panther mantle is being passed on. So they're not recasting T'Challa. He's going to be
All
written
right.
out, but the Black Panther mantle is going to be moved on to someone else, but we don't know
Oh
who.
no. Sad, man. It's really, really sad.
Very.
Um, yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. What we got next though? Oh, one more super chat. My main issue from James, my main issue is Bar Martinez. We haven't signed any guaranteed starters. This team absolutely sucks, and I generally can't trust most of this squad. RIP. Do you know what? On what James said there, I do agree with like what we need. Like we needed a lot of starters to come in and change the face of this team. New right back, new centre mid, new right wing, left wing, whatever you want to call it. New centre midfielders. Yeah, I get that. We wanted more starters to come in. But like we said, in it, Ten Hag's going to have to work with a lot of these players next year. I was saying that all the way through this, all the way through the mess. I was like, don't think that Ten Hag's going to come in and not have to work with Fred and McTominay and Dallo and Bruno and all of them. You know what I mean? A lot of them, and that's what's
And
yeah,
also, look, these people aren't guaranteed starters, but give it a couple of games, who knows how
yeah,
important they'll be? You know, Malacia
exactly.
might be our new starting left back. Ericsson, if he doesn't start first game of the season, I'll be quite annoyed. He scored against
Yeah,
Wrexham yesterday, free kick.
yeah. There could be. To be fair, there could be three actual starters in the. You know what I mean? There could be. You know,
Yeah.
Martinez is going to start. Ericsson, you probably say, is going to start, and it's a toss up with Malacia and Shaw. So that is three, you know. And then you've got rejuvenated players like Sancho, who's like, wow, look what he's doing now. And if Rashford turns up, then that's like having a new player. And Martial, if he's spearheading our attack and he's turned around, it's like having three new players. Do you know what I mean? So it's weird. It's weird. There's one more. Yasser says, did anyone think that maybe he doesn't want to play for these players because they threw him under the bus last season when he tried to carry the team? Yeah, when he done that interview. No, I just think it's again, we're just not in the Champions League and we're not going to win anything imminently. What we got next?
So yes, we've
It's
got two
five
more
really.
things before we wrap things up. So we're going to start off talking about centre backs leaving. Of course, we talked about centre back possibly starting in Martinez. According to the Telegraph, Manchester United are hoping to offload at least two of Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, and Axel Tuan-Sibi. Who do you think is going to be the two to go out of those?
I've been seeing the Eric Bailly to Roma stuff. You know, out of those centre backs, Eric Bailly is kind of weird talking about the most reliable out of those three in that picture. It's not like reliability is not really a an adjective you'd give to those guys there. But Eric Bailly is probably the one who carries the most weight. So I think Eric Bailly will leave, and I think Phil Jones has got to go in here, man. And Axel's got.
I
I
don't
think
think
all
Jones is going
three.
to go. I think Bailly
He
and
stays
Tuan-Sibi will go.
again.
I think Jones stays again. We haven't
How?
heard anything, Fleck.
No,
That's
I
why.
know.
Who's coming in?
Don't get it. He's got to go
Maybe,
somewhere.
maybe, and this is what happened in January. It was right towards the end of the window. And we spoke about this, I think, before we started, that a couple of games into the season, teams panic because they realize that they're rubbish and they start going after
Mhm.
people or they get a shock injury. Maybe there will be a Premier League
Bournemouth
club.
or a
Maybe there will
Fulham or
be,
someone like
yeah,
yeah,
a foreign club that
Forest.
comes and goes, "Go, we need to get a defender, Phil Jones." That might happen. We've heard nothing. We've heard stuff about Bailly going to Roma or Milan. We've heard stuff about Tuan-Sibi going to maybe Bournemouth. We've
Mhm.
heard nothing with Phil Jones. So I would not be shocked if he sticks around.
Yeah, yeah. I can't see it. But surely it's like it's got to leave to go somewhere. And what we got last?
Finally, Frenkie de Jong cannot be forced to leave. This is according to the Liga
The reason
president,
why this is last.
Javier Tabas. Yes, it want to end on a positive note. Has spoke about Barca asking de Jong to reduce his salary. This is what he said, quote, "The players cannot be split from the team or pressured. It's what collective agreements, the law, reason, ethics mark. From there, Barca knows the rules and responsibilities." Basically saying, look, you cannot pressure a player to take a pay cut. You cannot force a player to take a pay cut. You cannot force a player or pressure them to basically kick them out of the club to comply with these financial rules. Basically saying what you're maybe doing or not doing, because this now makes a lot of sense to me. You know how they're being kind of sort of secretive or maybe a bit murky around their language that they're using
Yeah.
regarding pay cuts and regarding forcing, or well, we might have to comply, blah, blah, blah. The La Liga president's basically pushing back, going, if you get caught sort of, again, pressuring him to take this pay cut or forcing him to take this pay cut, then you might have a problem on your hands. The way you're possibly treating this player goes against the rules and responsibilities
Well, they ain't
of
stepped in so far.
interesting.
Barcelona. Do you know
No.
what? I think it's bullshit because you can say that the league and the people who make the decisions and stuff like that. But why Barca have been doing a madness for the longest amount of time now? Like they're getting away with murder. They are. So until I see some action being taken against them, i.e., them literally not being able to register the likes of Rafinha and Lewandowski and that, like some real stringent actual sanctions, I just don't believe it. I just think they just do what they want because they're finding they're finding a way every single time to dodge.
You
this.
reckon, like KG said though, and like Semra Hunter said to you about, when they put the stuff in the computer, this
Yeah,
is your wage cap. Do you reckon that's what Liga are just waiting for? Going, okay, put it
yeah,
in
we'll
the
catch you
computer,
then.
then
Yeah, I
basically
suppose. Yeah,
register
computer says
him.
no.
Yeah,
Get to it.
exactly. They go,
Computer
there
says
you
no,
go,
no.
Rafinha, Lewandowski, Kunde, Christensen, and they just do a little type. They go, yeah, computer says no.
100%, mate. And then like, oh, well, Frankie, about those 17 million, about that
Yeah,
17 million. And I
yeah.
think that's what I mean. That's why he's trying to wait this out because Frankie holds the cards in this. Although it looks like he doesn't because he's been taken for a ride, he actually holds the cards because they need him to leave. And like Marcel van der Kraan said, very reliable journalist, Man United are not so stupid to put an 85 million bid in, 80 million euros, whatever it is, without any assurances from the player and the players' camp. I think what Man United have done is spoken to Frankie, spoken to his agent. I think he said, I will come, but you have to understand that I've got a big situation here, which I can actually, I said this before. We were told this, the line from the club to us a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, was that we are comfortable with that price. That's where we're at. There's something we're comfortable paying, but there are many, many complexities around his contract. That was told for me to word straight out of the club. Now people can say the club lying, there's this, that, and the other, but with everything that's come from that, but that was before deferred wages and pay cuts. That was before all this came out. So that's why I actually believe it, because then 2 weeks later, Simon Stone started talking about it. Then all the top journalists, where it's now a thing that we all know Barca are doing that to him. That is why we were told about a month ago that that's what it is. That's why I've been quite relaxed about it. Doesn't mean we're definitely going to get him because he might not. Look, make no mistake. It could get to the end of the transfer window and he says, I couldn't sort it out yet. Got to roll out till January. It's going to be horrible for me. I ain't going to play. But I'm that pissed off about it. I want to make a stand that much that me and my agent have said, well, it makes things really difficult for Barca. Very difficult. They wasn't even able to register Rafinha now and this and that player. That's why I think Frankie has to push this to the absolute max. And us as a club have gone, okay, well, we've made an agreement with Barca. We've spoken to you knowing that you do want to come. Once you've sorted it out, it should be a fairly quick process, but we'll leave you to sort that out. It actually shows the player that we care and we really want him. And in the meantime, you've got Ten Hag feeding through to him. So I don't know. That's what I think about it. Whereas a lot of other people are saying it's bollocks. Move on. He doesn't want to come here. There you go. That's just how I feel
There
about
you
the
go.
situation. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay.
Because I think people will either, agree with that or have the other view of absolutely not. Like you say, Kay says, Flex making fan fiction of De Jong. Nothing is happening. Doesn't agree with me. Fair enough. I think Kay's made his mind up or her mind up that, like, I'm done. Like, there's nothing happening. He ain't coming. Me personally, I just feel like that's what it is, in my opinion.
No, I don't know.
What do you think? What do you? Don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore. I mean, every
Yeah.
time I get a little bit confident with this deal, something else comes up that you go,
Yeah.
oh, maybe it's all coming to a head. Eventually, it will come to a head. Whenever
Yeah.
it gets to the point where they have to register players, that is when we'll see the
Something's
proper
got to
movement.
give.
And I know,
Yeah.
that's annoying because there's always been these deadlines, and then nothing happens. Barca are going on tour or it's when they get back from tour, it's when this happens, it's when United come back from tour, or when he comes back off holiday. And now the deadline is when they have to register players, but maybe that will be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is a saga. Like I said yesterday, I've said a couple of times recently, I have no business in ever doing, no interest rather, in ever doing business with Barcelona ever again. I don't want to be involved as a United fan in this sort of web of deceit, lies, and chaos. And I'm happy for us, hopefully, to eventually get the player, not do business with Barca again, and then in
Ever
a year's
again.
time, watching Barca get pissy because suddenly they need more money again. Or in 5
Yeah.
years' time, they go, oh, we mortgaged or we sold off all of these merchandising or broadcasting rights and we need more money.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
whatever.
But there you go. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Apologize for all the coughing and spluttering in your ears. Try to mute myself as much as I could, because the shows are important. We've got to keep going. No time to go. Yeah, disgraceful settings. The vlogs are on their way, both of them. So enjoy. Josh has been working super hard on that, so please take the time out to watch them. I know that we said they'd arrive yesterday.
He's a
But
genius.
there's just so much going on. Exactly. They will definitely be here today. So we are out of it, guys. Peace.